November 2019, we hosted a 3-day futures thinking and scenario planning workshop for youth. We had about 75 different young people from 10 different Asian countries come and join us here at the Lee Kuan Yew School to talk about how to design public services for Mars. This was a part of our Festival of Ideas, a big inaugural event to discuss, public policy issues and try to give a platform, to discuss how we can make better decisions for the future. When we designed this workshop, we wanted to give everybody a kind of nice starting point where everybody would come in the same level. So we chose designing public services for Mars as our thought experiment and tried to use that as a way of introducing both futures thinking and scenario planning tools, as well as thinking about public policy frameworks.
So I'm here at the Festival of Ideas, where we've been exploring with students from lots of different countries the question of how we would design public services for Mars. Now, it seems like quite a bold and forward-thinking question. Should we be worrying about this right now? But I think it's a really useful thought experiment. Looking to the future is important because when we look ahead, we could end up in a world that we do want, or there's a risk that we sleepwalk into a world that we don't want. So this is a thought experiment that we can apply back here in our own countries, here on Earth, to think about some of the core issues as society comes under pressure, as finances in many cities are tight, as human needs get more complex. How could we reinvent our model of public services to be different, to be more sustainable, so that they work not just now, but much, much better in the future?
So day one of the program was where we brought all the young people together to discuss how to build public services for Mars and how to design them. We tried to make the group as diverse and inclusive as possible. I think one of the things that we were really interested in doing is how to get a participatory and inclusive conversation about the future. I think normally when we think about public policy or futures thinking and scenario planning, it seems like these big, lofty ideas. But actually, if we could democratize these skill sets and these tools, actually what would they look like? So we brought together this group of young people to take part in this workshop together. So one of the questions that we have when it comes to futures thinking and scenario planning is really who gets to future, right? Who gets to decide about what public policy looks like, what public services look like, in the long term. So one of the things we really wanted to do with this particular workshop was to try to bring together a really diverse and inclusive group and to get them to really think and use these futures and public policy frameworks to really exercise, how to design public services for Mars and how to go through these exercises, these tools that we would teach in a public policy graduate school, and how to understand a little bit about how to make these decisions for the long term. So on the final day, after 2 days of workshop and the students preparing all their presentations and their pitches, we had a little bit of a competition where each group had to present their solution for public services on Mars across transport, education and housing. I think one of the big takeaways for us as a team was really to see that creativity and energy around how to communicate these ideas, how to sell these ideas of what public services should look like for Mars. I think that that's such an important part of not only futures thinking but also public policy education, right? That how do you put forth your ideas in such a way that people will buy into them, and implement them for better solutions for the future. So we were so happy to have this wonderful group of students with us for 3 days. I think the thing I took away most from it was really their creative energy, the dynamism, the amount of heart and hope they brought into the discussion.
Meeting so many different people from many different diverse backgrounds really gave me an eye-opener to how the world is like outside. And I'm really thankful for my school because I've learned many different things in such a short span of time. And this has led me to hone my skills to think on the feet. And at the same time, it has given me opportunities to network with different characters and individuals from a wide range of countries all around the world.